Now we're gonna move on to Q&A here. Let me just. Do you want to stay on for Q&A, or do you want to go to chat, Dallas?
Yeah, I can stay on. It'd be
cool. And Vane Belmont, welcome. Glad you're here. We just finished our Streams, Pause, and God segment. Now we're just going to go on Q&A, where you can pretty much ask anything. It doesn't have to be about the topic of building community. But before I do that, let me get a marker so I know when Q&A starts. Marker. See, this is me trying.
How many vampires have you killed lately, Van Belmont?
That's an awesome name, by the way. Totally apropos to what I'm playing. And it works both ways. I mean, I think he's spelled it vain as in like you're so vain, but it could also be vain as in a blood vein because it's Belmont and Dracula. It's perfect. It's a great name. Marker.
That's awesome.
QA. Let's see. Dale says, or praise God for the blessings cooked in that pot.
Ooh, yes.
The yummy drippings of tri-tip. Okay. And so, I didn't say goodbye or anything like that. I just sort of ended it. That's fine. We'll continue. I'm working on being a pro, remember? My unprofessional professionalism, we'll call it. Anyway, yes, like we said, welcome, Vane Belmont. And so Dale had asked a question before. I'm actually going to scroll up and try to catch it. Let's see if I can find it here. Dale had asked, yes, how long did it take before you realized that someone was listening or watching? Oh, that's a great point. Like someone, you mean, because I did take some of my own advice early on and asked people online, hey, can you listen to the podcast? Can you give us feedback on this episode? Stuff like that. And I did get engagement from some friends and family that they listened. But before I knew someone who I wasn't aware of listening, you know what? I don't know. I gotta imagine it was probably somewhere in the first 50 episodes of the podcast, which Vane Belmont, you've probably seen it scroll on the bottom here, but the main thing I do is Retro Rewind Podcast at retrorewindpodcast.com. So I was talking about building community for a podcast, and I guess within the first 50, I think it's a lot easier on YouTube because you can see right away, did someone watch this or did someone not watch this? You kind of know that way. You can look at your downloads, and I guess you don't. Is there a way for you to tell, Dallas, if when you knew someone who you didn't know was watching?
No, there's really no way of being able to tell that. I mean, I can look at a thing and I'd be like, okay, I know none of my people watch this show, and yet there's a whole bunch of views. That's the thing. I gotta stop.
I finally made it on top.
My mom doesn't watch my show, so I know she's on any of them.
Oh, geez. Come on, Dallas's mom. So I finally made it onto this list. By the way, welcome, Lopan the Man. So glad you're here. We just missed the Streams, Pause, and God segment. We will break that out as a highlight and YouTube video. But we're in Q&A now, so feel free to ask any questions about building community. This whole time playing this tonight, I've been trying to make it on top of this ledge right here. This ledge, like here, I'll try to point it right here. Just follow my finger, this ledge. And I got on top of it and immediately got hit and am knocked off. Well, drat.
You made it.
I suppose. I don't know if you could really call that making it, though, if I get knocked off. But whatever. We'll take it. And I die. That just adds insult to injury. Or insult to fatal injury, I guess you could say.
I love it so much.
Let's see. Sorry. There's a... But you're still on. Yes, Dale, we are still on. We're just doing Q&A. We're still going to stream for a bit more. Lopan then said, hi, all. Dale, he cuts the streams, Pause, and God into YouTube. Oh, okay. Thank you for explaining that, Lesty. You guys are saying, hi, Lopan. And then I don't know why you got auto-mod, Dale, for I know Lesty, just joking. What's the deal? Automod, what's wrong with you? Gosh. Well, I posted it now. Oh, look out. Drop shipping in from lovely Pacific. I'm trying not to dox you, Paul. From Paul Zoe himself is here. And here we go. Yeah, I knew a Millennium question was coming. He says, do you think it will be harder or easier to build community, ... in the Millennium? Oh, my gosh.
It'll be easier because this will be the Millennium Reign of Christ. So everyone's in one community under Jesus.
But what if the Millennium is right now, Dallas? What if the Millennium is right now? What if you believe that right now we're in the Millennium?
Well, your theology's wrong. So
go shots fired. I don't know.
I'm not that mean to. I promise you. I have many amillennialist friends, and we just disagree, and it's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. I mean, something like that is not salvation. What's the term? Salvation.
Essential.
Essential. Yes, it's not essential. So.
Yeah.
It's fun to speculate on stuff like that. Let's see.
It is.
And hello, all, says Paul. Leslie says, thumbs up to Dale. Hi, Paul. Falcon? Falcon? What's a falcon?
I have no idea.
Oh, Christy just got a new tea I'm going to smell here.
Ooh, tea.
Sugar cookie tea. Yum, yum, yum.
What kind?
Sugar cookie.
Dang. Share much?
From Celestial's what? Seasons. It's a tea brand. Oh, and she's gonna get a picture. Oh, that's fantastic, Celeste. Oh my goodness.
Yes, there is plenty of fellowship in our community building, the Millennium Falcon.
Indeed. By the way, those who might just be joining us, I have Dallas Moore from Geek Devotions who joined me for the Streams, Pods, and God segment, and now we're just doing Q&A, which you can ask pretty much anything.
That one.
So that is the one. It's backwards, unfortunately, but.
Sugar cookie sleigh ride. Oops, sorry, I'm terrible at this.
No worries.
Oh.
Sorry. There you go. And then that was good. And then, well, I don't know if it's good, but this is the other one I bought.
And she bought another one. What is it? Let's find out. Notes. It's tea time with Christy.
Cranberry vanilla wonderland.
See, it's Christy. Get it?
Oh.
This one I know for certain is amazing. You should all try it.
I died.
You should all try these.
Gingerbread. Herbal tea gingerbread cookie.
They're great for if you're trying not to eat all the marshmallows in the marshmallow bag.
Yes. That is a good point, Christy. Thanks for sharing that. Paul says, Millennium Falcon punch. Wow, just adding to it. And then Dale says, like a hawk, but a falcon. What?
Oh, Francisco, I have a question for you, man.
Sure,
with
go
all
for
this stuff, what has been the most difficult thing for you with building your online community?
Well, I'll take that in two stages. I'd say the first was when we got some of our first negative feedback. It was, I forget who it was. I tried to find this recently, actually, because one of the ideas I have for doing a Streams, Pods, and God is when things just are not working, when you just want to quit, when you just are done. Because recently with OBS and Mac Mojave, that's been kind of my mindset and this ledge and the treasure that you fall through because it just evaporates on you. But where was I totally going with that? Negative feedback. Thank you, Christy. They said, well, these guys don't even like research the movies or anything. They don't know what they're talking about. Or talking about the podcast. And you know what? That was hard to hear, and I want to be like, what are you talking? Why are you so mean, man? I want to be a child about it. But I took the crit. I was like, you know what? We should be a little bit more aware of at least who the actors are in these movies and what they play, or refer to them at least by their character names, if nothing else. So I emailed him back. Thank you for your feedback. I was just I tried to be pretty cordial with him.
Right.
but so that was a tough thing. That is stage 1. Yeah. But that's, in essence, that's actually a good thing, because you're actually, if even if you get negative feedback, someone's listening and someone's has the possibility of becoming part of the community.
Absolutely.
But stage 2, the hardest thing about community is staying on top of. It's gotten to the point where for the podcast, we get a lot of different types of feedback, and I'm not sure, except when it's specific to that episode, like what do you remember about Highlander? What do you remember about Mary Poppins? I'm not sure what feedback I should include on the show and what feedback I shouldn't include. Am I hurting someone's feelings by not including everything? So that's been lately the hardest thing. But that's not really building community. That's staying in touch with your community.
Staying in touch is part of building it, though.
That's true. Let me think about that a little bit. How would you answer that? Do you have an answer for that?
For us, the most difficult thing for building our community is probably being okay with the fact that we're not reaching we're reaching a very niche audience.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's understanding that we're in a niche, and that unfortunately, because of the way culture runs, the type of content we put out, people are sometimes really into it, and sometimes they're really not.
Yeah.
And so it's not being discouraged when it's like, sometimes we're getting quite a bit of views on a video, and there's a lot of interaction in our group, and then we'll go through the season where it's like, wow, like, why'd everybody go away? Oh, right, Dallas grew a mustache, and I scared him away.
And you know what? That's sometimes that's funny that you say you feel like you're too niche. Sometimes I wonder if we're not niche enough. Because us, we sort of talked about this during the stream, during the main streams, Pods and Gods, and God, not gods. I'm not polytheist. Is what did we talk about that I was going to reference before I totally forgot myself?
Putting out content.
No, it was. Being too niche, not being niche enough. Sometimes I feel like maybe we should have just been a Christian podcast, and then we could totally appeal to all the Christians out there, and that make it, because then people wouldn't be wondering, well, I don't know about this show. They're talking about movies that are like rated R and stuff. I don't know, but if it's like explicitly Christian, it's like, well, okay, I know it's technically family friendly or something like that. I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
And so I actually wonder if that's a hindrance, but I mean I can see it both ways. I see what you're saying about how you can only, then you can't appeal to everyone. Like I think one of the people that's been on the show, and he said he's a naturalist or an atheist, and it's been good being able to have him on and gain his perspective. And that's Patrick Kramer. And if we were explicitly Christian, I doubt he would have ever listened. And so I think it's a good thing that we're like that. But Tin Raven, welcome, Tin Raven. So sorry I missed you before. Did you say hi before and I totally just blanked? Very, very sorry. I do not like it when I totally miss someone jumping in right away. But welcome. So glad you're here. We're currently playing, obviously, Castlevania 4 and doing a Q&A segment after on Mondays, we do something called Streams, Pods, and God, where we talk about those topics in the context of a question, which tonight was building community. And so I'm on talking with Dallas Moore from Geek Devotions and just taking any questions you have. It can be about building community. It can be about anything, really. And right now, welcome. That's what we're talking about. No, I was just watching and listening. Oh, okay. Sometimes let's talk about streaming for a little bit. We didn't really talk about streaming on building community on streams. Dallas, can we mind if we sidebar to that? for a little bit, even though this is the part of the Q&A. Being able to be okay with people just watching and not interacting in chat is I feel like a skill. I think it's especially tough when you don't have anyone. I've said this to people before. I'm super blessed because, I mean, I gotta say, I mean, not that I didn't pay my quote unquote dues. We put 5 years, I'd say, into Retro Rewind Podcast, building that community before we started streaming with any regularity. So I think it helps having that. It's not like we start from scratch and here I'm streaming to 10 people, it looks like. Wow, that is awesome in of itself. Thank you all. Whether you're chatting or not, I really appreciate you watching.
Right.
But that didn't just happen because I turned on the camera and bam, I got 10 people and lots of you chatting. But that's still hard, especially when I'm streaming and some nights no one's here for quite a while. It's like, whew, it's okay, Francisco. You know what? You got to do this. You just keep streaming, and hopefully someone eventually will find you. And if not, like I think it goes back to the very first thing we were saying. You got to put something out there. You gotta. If you never put anything out there, no one's gonna find it. I mean, it's really kind of as simple as that. But when people do come into your chat, and Dale's commented how much he likes how I engage with chat, and I'm not just sitting here complaining. As I go off on a tirade right now and don't engage with chat, but to get the point across, it's you when people do put themselves out there and say, hey, hello, you want to make sure you're actually talking to them and establishing, hey, how you doing? How is your Thanksgiving if you're in the States? Or how is your October Thanksgiving if you're in Canada? Or you hate that America has a Thanksgiving and Great Britain doesn't because it's a reminder of us
Canada
winning? Where are you going with this, Francisco? Regardless.
For those of you who are new, welcome to the train wreck that is Francisco's Rambles.
That's a great way of describing it, Dallas. Let me refer to chat since I just did train wreck here. Let's see. Geek Devotion said, how are you, Tin Raven? Dale said, there's so much content for the Christian community by the community, such that it is a blessing, a reward that you are getting the audience that you have garnered. Yeah, exactly. I feel like he's referring to you, Dallas, in terms of Geek Devotions. And I think that's totally true. I think that is a blessing that you, the audience that you do garner, and any audience any of us get is a blessing. None of us deserve it.
Exactly.
Just keep agreeing with me. I'm liking this. Francisco is the best. Come on, I'm waiting for it. Yeah, totally. 100%.
I agree.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. Amen.
So Tin Raven.
I'm Pentecostal. I can be like, yes, Lord. Amen. Yes.
Shut
you down right now.
Oh my gosh. Tin Raven did say, no, I was just watching and listening. I'm doing good. I'm winding down. Oh, okay. Geek Devotion J for winding down time. I know it's my favorite part of the day. Yep. I really like to watch Twitch at the end of the day. Yeah, totally. And he says, Retro Rewind Pod, I know how you feel. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I'm glad you know how I feel. Are you a streamer as well, Tin Raven? And if you are, what do you like to stream? And then Britain's lost Thanksgiving. So they didn't lose Thanksgiving. What I was trying to say by that was it seems like Thanksgiving would be a reminder to Great Britain about how we are no longer part of the British Empire. Because we have this
more
holiday.
4th of July. You know that, right?
No, I do know that that's our independence, but it is a United States holiday. So it's like any United States specific holiday, it's like, haha, Great Britain, we have one where you can't talk to anyone over here because we turn our phones off on Thanksgiving. What? I think what I'm trying to say is that it's just a reminder because the whole country is celebrating this for the most part strictly United States holiday. I mean, I know Canada has Thanksgiving, but that's what I meant. Oh my gosh.
You know what's funny about the Canadian Thanksgiving?
What's funny about it?
I recently talked to a Canadian. I said, why do you guys celebrate Thanksgiving? And this is literally the answer I got. I don't know. They just said we do it, and so we do.
That works. There you go. Dale said, "Happy Thanksgiving, everyone." Lopain the Man says, "I will say the community is one of the big reasons I followed and support RRP, Retro Rewind Podcast. Aw, Francisco, Paul, Dallas, and all the group here are so inviting and friendly that you can feel a part of the community right off the bat. That's pretty rare in this day and age, especially on Twitch." See, okay, so it's feedback like that I want to include in the podcast. So I'm going to marker that. So I have marker and watch me totally forget to include this in the feedback of the podcast for the next episode. But I'm going to do my best. I'm going to marker it and everything. So hopefully I have podcast feedback. So hopefully I got that. Thank you that means so much, Lopan the Man. Thank you so much. And I'm sure Dallas feels the same way. Don't you, Dallas?
I do. I appreciate it.
So, again with affirmations. I love it. And then Tim Raven says, blinky face, LOL. I think referring to my Thanksgiving, Britain lost Thanksgiving comment. That should go in the quotes. Someone remind me of that. Britain lost Thanksgiving. Let's see.
Britain lost Thanksgiving.
Wait, what happened?
We took it from her with her tea.
Exactly. Let's see. Tim Raven says, "I like to stream games with my kids." Aw, that's awesome. Very, very cool. I'm curious. You don't have to share this, Tim Raven, but how old are your kids? Mine are, I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old myself. Let's see. Then Paul Zo, the one and only, says, "I also know how you feel. There are tiny nerves close to the surface of your skin that send the sensations, the signals to your brain." Oh, Paul, I love you. And all your literalisms. It would probably be 2 episodes, by the way, Lopan the Man. Wait, what? What would be 2 episodes?
I don't know. I'm lost.
I missed that too. Tin Raven, they are all teenagers. Oh, okay, cool. So they can actually play. I mean, my kids play games, but they don't really play games. Like my daughter likes to play Mario Kart and just go in reverse and spin around over and over again. She thinks it's the funnest thing in the world. Like, that's great, but that's not the point of the game. But okay, you can enjoy that, I suppose. And then Dale says, "You guys, the Bible Project, Michael Jr."
He's awesome. He's hysterical.
Is he? Okay. I don't think I know.
He's the one that does the "Are you oversaved" bit.
Are you okay? I don't think I've seen that, so I'll have to seek that out.
Oh my gosh.
I Am Second and some other videos are great, but to find you among all that, to find new friends, fellow Christians that are geeks, too, are blessings to me. Aww. That's so great, Dale. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I told you
Dale was awesome.
Dale is awesome. I never disputed that. Gosh, why you make me out to be the disputer of dispute, of dispute?
Because I'm the one that's agreeable. You're disputable.
Oh, okay, that's fair, I guess. Let's see. And Tim Raven says, "Yes, we switch off who's in control while we talk about the game." Very, very cool. So let's do some shout outs here. I'll do my best. Oh no, I have 15 seconds to complete this level. Who thinks that's going to happen? We'll just let the time run out. I mean, I think it's a lost cause at this point. So
watch the next screen be the end.
What? No, I have 2 lives left. We're good. Shout out. First off, we'll do Geek Devotions, because of course.
Who's that guy?
Who's that guy? Oh, press pause. Shout. Oh, geez, come on. Shout
out Jesus.
I mean, this is why you watch the stream, to watch me type, right? This is typing time with Francisco. Isn't it great? It's so amazing.
It's the greatest moment of this whole stream. We need an above cam just to watch your fingers move across the keyboard.
That would be amazing. Yeah, I'll get around getting another camera. But I missed all the Black Friday deals. Darn it. Shout out to
and then have it being narrated. Watches Francisco types furiously on the keyboard. Notice that the keypad click smoothly.
It's amazing Foley work. Much better than Highlander. Oh. Shout out to Tin Raven. Swoosh clank. And let's see here. Francisco Rain. I think that's all of this. Our cohort of streamers that are watching. Francisco teaches typing. Exactly, Paul. Exactly. Sorry, all the good vibes are clogging up my chest cavity. Okay, let's get back to this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play out. I think this is one of those games where it shows one life, but that really means you have two lives, like the one you're on and then one more. So I'm going to play. You bet, Tim Raven. I think I was saying Tim Raven. I'm sorry. I was trying to say Tin Raven and enunciate with the clear words and all. But I'm going to go ahead and play 2 more times. Then we're going to be done for tonight. And I have a streamer. I've vetted him. I've watched him a few times. He seems cool. We'll go raid him after this. So stick around. We'll go do a major raid. Say retro love to you. But let's play these 2 lives and try to get through this. And what?
I'm going to go ahead and sign off, Francisco, and watch you from the stream.
Okay.
Bro.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much, Dallas, for being here.
It was a blast.
That was
one of my favorite things ever.
Aw, thank you. That's so kind of you, Dallas. And thank you for all the affirmations. They are all true. Every single one.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Except for the one about you being disputable. Or is it true? Because you said it was true.
Well, I do tend to just play devil's advocate sometimes when I ought not to, like when in my marriage. So that's probably, is that disputable? I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, thank you for being here, Dallas, and see you in chat.
All right, see you, man.
See ya. I'm going to close